40 ballistic and plus.
In the grounds of the Mariinsky Palace in central Kyiv, I met Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy on the eve of his latest trip abroad to visit allied nations after a tough week of domestic politics at home. We discussed all that, plus dealing with Britain's new Prime Minister and where he thinks the war goes from here.
Mr. President, thank you for speaking to me again. I know you've had a bit of a challenging week, which I will come to shortly, but can I ask you about whether there's any end in sight for this war? As the US Secretary of State met the Russian Foreign Minister, nothing much seemed to come out of that meeting other than Russia asked the US to stop supplying Ukraine with weapons. Is there anything possible to achieve a peace deal with President Putin?
Thank you very much. This week, it's not about challenging week or weeks and months. Be honest, it's a pity, but it's already about years of this war. And it's a big challenge for us. What we try to do to make this challenge also for Russians. Otherwise, they will not feel that the war is everywhere, not only in Ukraine, on the front line, everywhere in Ukraine for people. The war is for children, for families, and etc. And that's why we started to do everything to respond and to bring this war back to Russia, where it came to us. So, and that's why we started our mid-strikes and deep strikes operations, just to respond. And it gives us possibility to be more strong. Russia and Putin, they don't respect weak. I can't use weak partners because we are not partners. Even weak enemies because we are enemies for them and they are enemies for us. So this is very understandable that we became more strong with all our drone productions, with this new technological industry, with our missiles, and now we are on the way of ballistic productions and our own air defense, but on the way. And of course, with not only by our different talented people, creative people, but of course also with the support of our friends, of our partners. We came so strong as we are now, but not enough to stop Putin. So that's why when you're asking where we are with this, so the first, we have to be strong, and we do everything, as I said to you, for this. The second point, we need strong partners, and partners have to be more strong with sanctions against Russia. Sometimes they are not so strong. I'm thankful for 20 packages, 21st already been voted by EU, but it's not enough. Also UK and also United States and also Norway and other non-EU members. So they have to pressure more. More, it means that if put sanctions on oil, it means that 100%. Not for this person or for that person. This oligarch is good. He is somewhere in Europe, in Switzerland or in London, and they live a long period of time. That's why they are not Russian. They are something similar, but not no. And I think that the answer is, if you want to be strong and push Putin, you have to do it everywhere. On the battlefield, then air defense. Don't play these games with us. Help us and totally close the sky to be strong and put sanctions everywhere. Rubio and Lavrov, you said that they talk with all respect to United States. Look, Putin is not ready to stop this war. I've got the brief from intelligence. He is preparing mobilization. He wants to do it after elections on 21st of September. He wants to increase mobilization in his country. Not very openly because he afraid his society, but he will do it the first days of October if we will not bring him problems with logistics, weapon, petrol, diesel, and if our partners will not push total sanctions against his aggression.
If he does mobilize, though, that's potentially a lot of soldiers. That's going to be a big problem for Ukraine, no?
It will be a big problem because he will I think he will count on mobilization about 300,000, from 300,000 to 500,000. So I think it's not difficult for him to mobilize. Yes, these people, yes, he will have internal questions about it, because his society is, I saw the polls, his society is against the mobilization, and big percent is against the war. But they support him. The biggest problem, he will not be able to train them quickly. It means, again, he will push on the battlefield people who are not well trained, and mostly they will not be trained. It means that a lot of losses. But it's up to him to do it or not.
President Putin has shown no real signs of wanting peace at all, however much it costs him.
First of all, people around him, half of the people who are closer to business, big business, not only, so they are against this war. They feel the problems with the economy. The second point, military guys around him want to have more money on military tech, on military production, on these huge budgets, what they really have, what they spend on this war. So, and they are, of course, they are against peace. They want this war to be continued. So this is where we are. Then he has problems with petrol. He began to import energy to his country. Of course, Lukashenko, and I think that I think it's big risks for Lukashenko. He is trying not to be involved to this war, but from another side, he has two factories, and they give petrol and they give, I think, diesel to Moscow and to St. Petersburg.
You're off to the United States. You'll likely meet President Trump. What are you going to say to the United States? What do you need from them?
I need air defense. I need PAC-2, PAC-3. It's not offensive weapon. We found money from Europe. We paid this money through program Pearl, but we don't have enough missiles to defend. This is a problem. Not enough sanctions on Russia's military production. They can increase the production of ballistic missiles. So, and that's why we need air defense as quick as possible. And because of Middle East, we have deficit with this. Now I understand the roots and of the problem. I understand the relations between the United States and Middle East countries, and I understand the United States is focusing on the Middle East, but because of this, we have this challenge. And for us, it's a big challenge. I try to manage it now with some Europeans and with Americans and with some other countries. This, for me, it's a big challenge for Ukraine. We need to do it as quick as possible. So this is we are. This is the topic what I want also to discuss with President, and also negotiations, and of course what format we will work further, because we had pause. It's true, but now Steve and Jared began to work on it. I had phone conversation with them. They had 3 ideas. I will not go with details because they wanted not to be, this very open. They just said me like basic things. So not.
Were they acceptable to you?
No, it's just basic thing. We need to discuss it. So I hope that we will discuss these ideas. Yes, and this is important. And also we have now I think 3 moments on which we have to focus. First, North Korea will send to Russia 30,000 of soldiers. Second, and of course, with this first point, a lot of things. They will launch this war and etc. It will be problems not for us, for Asia and other, and for also the United States, for the West. The second point, not only North Korea, Iranians will send missiles to Russia. And this is a problem because it will be ballistic missiles against us. And not only ballistic, these missiles. Then what is really a big problem, China began to work with Russia, and they work on satellites and on technologies and etc. to be more, how to say it, precisive, attacking us.
One night we had 40 ballistic missiles in an hour or so. This is, can you not defend against that type of attack?
40 missiles, ballistic missiles, plus cruise missiles, plus hundreds of drones. Yeah, we don't have enough to destroy ballistic missiles. We have everything made our Ukrainian production to destroy drones and a lot of different things. We also destroy some kind of missiles, but we can't destroy ballistic missiles. We need support of our partners. Of course, we are on the way to make our Ukrainian, European, we can call it how you want, this air defense system, anti-ballistic air defense. But this is, we need some time for this.
Yeah.
The second point, we discussed with President Trump, and he accepted that he will give me licenses for Patriot missiles production in Ukraine. But it's, again, because of different, bureaucracy. It's not like we decided and next day we have here technical group and the week after we began to produce, and in months after we have hundreds of these missiles in our storages. C'est la vie. No, it
doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. So we can work during the war. We can work very quickly in Ukraine. That's why I always share from the first year of the war. I shared with previous administration, and I shared it with Europeans when I asked them, look, when we have Scalps or Storm Shadows from UK, when we have Asters for us from France, when we have Patriots from the United States, give us, please, give us licenses, not for the whole our period, not for the whole period. They're just for the wartime.
Yeah.
We will use it. We will increase production. We will give you this production. We will not sell anybody else. We will do it exactly for Ukrainians' needs and for your partners if you will need it. Like who knew about Middle East? Like this is an example. But I couldn't get this successful decision from partners. Now, President Trump's decisions, like the first steps that he will give. Then I spoke with Emmanuel Macron. He also said that he will help me with licenses for Asters and for Samti and etc. But it's still, how it's on the way.
Yeah.
Like diplomats like to say, on the way.
How do you get on with President Trump now?
I think good. We had good meetings with him. Really, the G7 meeting was very good. The NATO meeting during summit in Ankara was also good, and really I hope and count that our relations will be better. We need it. You see that we need it very much. We need unity between the United States and Europe. We need everybody during this war. So everybody, from Baltic to United States, it's all about unity, unanimity.
Yeah. Just turning to British politics briefly, would you believe that Andy Burnham is the 5th British Prime Minister since the full-scale invasion, 2022? Do those changes in the British government worry you? Do you think he understands Britain's commitment to Ukraine? Are you confident it'll continue?
I had good visits, Starmer's visit to Ukraine, and we spoke about it. And he said that the new government will continue, if we speak about Ukraine, so will continue the policy of supporting of Ukraine during this war. So then I had a phone call, very good phone call with the new prime minister. I congratulated him. We spoke about some basic things, not with details, because I understand what does it mean when you just became the leader. Everybody will call you and etc. You have to focus on internal questions.
Yeah.
And I count that we will have productive, very open bilateral meeting, and we will speak about it, and we will speak about all the things. Yes, we made a lot of things with Kir, and we need to continue, and also to have a new page in our relations. For example, drone deal, very important, I think, bilaterally. I want to build big factory in Britain and of new technologies and share with our partners. And of course, we're ready to share all our experience with UK, and I hope that UK will do the same. So we need to make this drone deal be very strong. I count on it, and also I count when we will speak. I will say about not only about our needs, how we see our bilateral relations further. What can we do together to strengthen Ukraine and UK?
Because interestingly, actually, that you mentioned it about helping countries like Britain are pretty defenceless themselves. There's no way of taking things out of the sky.
Money, really. Money, intelligence, technologies. It's really difficult. It doesn't mean that you need only money from UK or from other. No, it means that there are 3 points which are very important to build something new. You need fundings, you need technologies. We have, and by the way, we both have, UK also have. As I said to you, till now, we began to build missiles. We have good missiles, but till now, we see the strong storm shadows what UK has.
Yeah.
We want to produce this or something similar. And UK wants to have such drones as we have, including sea drones. We're open for this also. So technologies, this is very important. Trainings, what UK gave us, yes, and we are ready now with our experience also to give something what UK will need or will want to share it with UK. So it's not only about that. For example, United Kingdom, they don't have air defense. I mean, they have some, but it's not about anti-ballistic and etc. Yes, it's true. I think this is a problem for all Europe. I know everything what Europe has, what one or another country has, what they have in stocks. I had to learn it. I know all this, I have this knowledge because I had to know. Yeah. So I know specific things in different countries, and I can tell you, so it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not even minimum. Yeah. In such war, it's not about just anti-ballistic. It's about how you defend your country. It's our system of experience, and anti-ballistic is a part of this system. So we want to share this system, and we need to build our European system. Anti-ballistic, huge, strong anti-ballistic system. This is where we are. We can work together.
Have you or any of your team had any phone calls or talks with Britain's new foreign secretary and defence minister?
No, we already had connections, and you know that we some people in this team, and Minister Hille, for example.
But the new ones haven't rung you or anyone?
No, I just spoke with Prime Minister, and we decided that we will have meeting as soon as possible, and we will have meeting. Yeah. And our ministers on different level after our meeting will have meetings. Yeah. We'll have meetings, connections, and etc.
That's the protocol, I suppose.
Yeah.
You speak to the leader and things. Can I turn quickly to politics in Ukraine? Bit of a difficult week.
Of course.
You fired a very popular defence minister, and we've seen people out on the streets. I've been at some of these rallies. Then you fired the head of the army, who wasn't awfully popular, and you've replaced him with a new head of the army. The former defence minister says he wants his job back. Are you going to give him his job back?
First of all, we had to prepare for the very difficult winter. Nobody even can't imagine what the winter will be. Of course, it can be tough or less. It will depend on partners and us. And I needed very much to have a prime minister who is deeply in energy, who knows what we will face on. So, and we did it. Then I think I had a big problem, and not days and weeks, it's about months, with in work and in dialogue between Chief of Army and Chief of Ministry of Defense. And look, there are some things which we have to manage, and you can manage it only if ministry works with army. You can't manage it one side or another. And you personally is not enough to manage it. You know that the big challenge is mobilization, understanding and estimating that in October we can have, maybe not, but we can have 500,000 plus people from Russia. We need new attitude to mobilization, new steps, maybe new, maybe not very quickly, maybe not something radical, of course not, but to find a way. For this, I need unanimity between these two institutions. The second point, not enough anti-ballistic. I don't have time for talks. Look, I don't have time for to listen one side, then to listen another side, because two sides are not ready to meet each day. They have to meet each hour until our sky will not be closed.
Yeah.
And I don't need to find who is right and who is not right. This is my answer to this, and this is my constitutional rights to do it, and to do it as quick as possible for unanimity. And I hope that they will manage these questions in any way. I mean, you can't close eyes. These challenges sometimes run quicker than you. Yeah, so that's why we need to make strong decisions.
But Mr. Fedorov is obviously credited with bringing about changes in the military, championing the long-range drone attacks. Is there still a place in the government for him, even if it's not that defence job, or could you give it to him?
First of all, I respect Syrskyi and Fedorov, but if you will ask them, they will answer. Deep strike, it's not about one person. Deep strike operations, it's about, first of all, it's about our army. Second, it's about the winners of deep strikes. It's about Secret Service, SBU. This is about them. It's even not Ministry of Defense. It's even not army. It's special forces and it's special operations. That be very honest. Then a lot of operations by HUR, by intelligence, especially sea drones operations. It was Secret Service and HUR. So I mean that we have to understand and be honest with all these operations. So Minister of Defense have to give everything for operations. Soldiers do operations, not somebody else. Soldiers do operations. This is the most thing. If you will focus on the important things during this war, you have to understand. First, it's a warrior, it's a soldier. If you don't have a soldier on the front, if he is running back, or if you think that you can use only drones and you don't need soldiers, no, you will fail. Because there is infiltrations of the enemy, and if you don't have soldiers on the front, you will lose this territory, you will lose the village, and the village after village you will lose the city. So soldiers is number one. Then people who pay taxes, this is number two. Otherwise we will not have or couldn't have salaries for these soldiers. This is very simple. Sometimes we try to try to find one person, another group of person. No, this country is fighting. Soldier, civilians, partners who give money for this infrastructure, for all these productions. Then 500 companies, 500 companies in Ukraine, which produce drones from deep strikes, mid strikes, and etc. And that's why, with all respect to Syrskyi, with all respect to Fedorov, they have to work together. Otherwise, they can't give right messages to army, right messages to our team, and to partners also. And for me, it's very important if they will choose to work and continue work. And I think this is very good, yeah. But it depends on their choice. So this is where we are.
Can I ask you about the drones, your drones, your deep strikes? How significant is this, being able to hit Russia, Moscow, St. Petersburg? Is this a big moment for Ukraine?
No, I think that deep strikes. Look, we had the spider web. We had a lot of different operations during the last three years. It's for today. We understood some sensitive moments with petrol, diesel. So this is important, and logistics. When you can cut it, like like mid strikes, the operation, for example, of our army and of chief of drone forces, Magyar. So they understood that they need mid-strikes operations in Crimea to cut the logistics. It's been to cut the possibility their army have petrol, diesel, weapon, and etc. This is very successful operations. All these operations have influence, had influence, and still have influence. Yeah. So this is a big work of very big team.
And could it push the war? Could it actually be a potential game changer, do you think?
Look, it's like hybrid war, and that's why hybrids respond. And as I said to you, we have to be strong, and Russia has to lose during this war. And of course, deep strikes, they lose money, they lose energy, they begin to import energy, yes, instead of export. So they lost a lot of money on it. That's why for them a problem. Can it make change? Of course, because it has big pressure on Putin in any way. He has a lot of questions, internal questions from people. Where is petrol? What to do? Yes, how to live without logistics, without the diesel. So it's really very, very difficult. That I said it from the very beginning, and I was very honest that, look, Putin afraid his society, internal challenges, internal questions to him, yes, and internal mood, and also Trump. And that's why in this case, what we need to do everything to push his people, push Putin to the peace, and also do everything, open all the information, show President Trump everything that Putin doesn't want to stop this war. And we do this also. And I think these things can change the ambitions of Putin. I hope so.
I've been covering wars for about 30 years, and something that I always take from it is the trauma that is caused to the civilian population, to the point that they perhaps never get over it. Do you think Ukraine will ever get over this?
Absolutely. I don't know we have to do it. We have to think more about veterans, about, you know, hundreds of thousands of people who will come back home. And this is big challenge. Of course, it's difficult to do it ourselves, but we will do it. I mean, it's only ourselves. I mean, we need all these veteran hubs. We need jobs for veterans. We need special attitude for them. It's true, because they gave their time, their lives, their health, everything. And this is very difficult. Yes, but the resilience of people surprised everybody in the world. Yeah, it's true. People are very strong, but of course tired. Long war. I mean, it's not people. People are people, so they do it because they love the country and their families. They do it because they really can't give their lives. It's not only about history, it's about today and future of their children. We can't give it to Putin just to choose what we have to do. So that's why it's a big challenge for the future.
What about you personally? Will you ever get over this war? It's likely to define you in many ways.
Don't know. I don't know. Not sure. Not sure. The war had influence on all of us and a lot of changes, not only on our faces. Changes, how to say it, yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, the last time I met you, I asked you how you keep going. How do you keep going?
Just keep going. I know that we are right. I know that the truth is the most important thing in your life. Yes, just that to be fair and that resilience is not just the resilience. What does it mean, resilience? It's not about muscles or something like that. No, it's about that you are right. You're on the right side of history. You're on your land and your house. This is my family. This is my country. I love this country, and nobody can push me out. Because if we will be weak, and if Putin will be successful, I'm sure we will lose everything, future of our children, grandchildren. So, and we can't give this, because he will never stop only in Ukraine, never stop. He will continue the war. So this war will never end. Just by his will. I mean, so the war will end by the will of Ukraine and unity around Ukraine to be strong and stop Putin. This is what I think.
You mentioned the Iran, you mentioned the Middle East and how it takes attention. Are you worried about Iran potentially attacking you? They've threatened because of what happened with one of their vessels. Or is that not a concern?
And what do you think if Iran, from the first year of the war, gave new technology to Russia? It was Shahid drones. They gave thousands of these drones first year of the war. Then they gave licenses. What did they do? Did they attack us? I think yes. So they already did it.
The war's already underway, effectively. They are attacking you.
We have to be cautious. We have to do everything not to open new front in any way, but we have to be honest. Iranians and North Koreans already attacked us. Yes, I hope that they will not increase these attacks, but we have to be ready for everything. Just to be ready and to know that we can't trust these people, because at the very, very beginning, without any messages, any kind of escalation from our side, Iranians gave weapon, North Koreans gave weapon, drones, missiles, artillery rounds 155 caliber. And at the end, people, you remember 10,000 of North Koreans. So they do it.
I've been coming to Kyiv for a long time. I've been coming to Ukraine for a long time. The city particularly seems very much under pressure. People are underground, night in, night out, all the time. What do you say to the Ukrainian people? There have been polls in the past where they just wanted it to end. Do you have to constantly think, I have to engage our own people to stay with the fight? Or in the end, Ukraine will stop existing? Is that what you have to say to them?
And so the moral of soldiers, I think, is strong. Of course, people are tired, as I said, but our army knows what they do. And we understand, an army understands that if they will be weak, if they will make steps back, Russia will occupy all of us and kill. Of course, they did it at the very beginning. This is a real example what Russians do on our territory when they have possibility to occupy our cities. We saw this in Bucha, in a lot of different small cities, not only big. So that's why army understands that it's not only according to the constitution they have to stay. Not, of course. They stay because they understand the risks for the future. Will we have future for our country and our people or not? So this is the first. The second point, a lot of civilians who work in different professions and they do a lot of things to strengthen the army, to strengthen the army. They know what they have to do, and each day after bombings, after massive attacks, they have to go and work, and they have to work. They produce important things for our country, from weapon to agricultural product. This is very important, and I think that mostly country understands it, and they're doing it each day. And of course, like in any society, there are people who have another view and etc., and they want to speak about it, and sometimes difficult and different messages. So we are a democratic country. Even during the war, we have democracy, and they openly can speak about it. But they have to know they can speak because of army. They can they can support something or not support, and they can be free and live in Ukraine again because of army.
Yeah.
Because army is on the front. Because army is the wall against an enemy. And that's why other civilians have free life. Maybe not 100% free, but comparing with other wars,
Yes.
and knowing the history, they have, according to the war, they have plus minus normal life. Not normalization of the war, of course not, but the life where we can spend some time, work, fight, and also people go to the cafes, you see it, to the restaurants, and it's normal. I mean, this, yes, but because of army.
Do you think that the changes that you've made, the development of new technology, weapon systems, will help with recruitment? Because that has been a problem, actually getting enough soldiers.
We will see. A really difficult question. Yeah, it's not only about technologies. We have to understand that there are people who are ready to go and to be on the front, and there are people who are not ready. And it's not about technologies. It's, first of all, it's about people. The second moment is to try to find another ways for recruiting, more human attitude, if it's possible. I mean, this is for today. very difficult task for anybody, really. So we will see. If these changes will come, we will see.
Mr. President, you have one of the most difficult jobs in the world, but thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.